Coming up on Finding G-Spots, let's board the Virgin Australia flight business class from Perth to Adelaide. Welcome back everyone to Finding G-Spots from wherever you are. Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to take a domestic business class flight in Australia. Now we're taking Virgin Australia, which is our preferred airline in Australia, and we're going to fly from Perth to Adelaide. The reason being is because we had a European holiday and we wanted to try the Qatar Q suites. Now if you wanted to take a Qatar flight with these Q suites, well, they only leave from 3 Australian cities and one of them is Adelaide, which is the reason why we went to Adelaide. Now this particular flight we did in May of this year. So a couple of months ago we took this Virgin flight. So let's start off our review with the flight time from Perth to Adelaide, which is just under 3 hours, so not a very long flight. And the lounge, I have to say my wife and I were quite impressed by the Virgin Lounge. We have been there before. There's quite a range of food to choose from, and one thing I will remark is it's always kept nice and tidy. They seem to have enough staff to keep the lounge looking great. There's areas where you can view the planes from, and of course they have the obligatory notice boards which signify when the flights are due to depart. There's me enjoying, I have to say, a very nice cake that I had there. Now with business class you get priority boarding just like in an international flight, so you get to board before the economy passengers board the plane. So as I mentioned, this flight was in May. It was late May, and I have to say it was an absolutely beautiful winter's evening in Perth, or sort of late autumn evening. Now the plane we're flying today is a Boeing 737-800, and this particular aeroplane has 8 business class seats in a 2-2 configuration at the front of the plane, the rest being economy. So there we were in the air, and have a look at that, an absolutely spectacular evening. It was very still and just perfect weather for flying. It was just glorious, I have to say. And here's a quick look inside the cabin, and I do like the ambient lighting they've got in there. I think it looks very nice. Now, if you fly business class, you do get a meal service, so you get dinner, and we had a choice of chicken and rice, which is what I had, and my wife had pasta. You also get cheese and crackers, a dessert, and there's a selection of drinks to choose from. I just had water, I didn't feel like anything else. Now you have the use of a separate toilet at the front of the plane, just for the business class passengers, and it was nice and clean. It was a pretty uneventful flight, I have to say. Very, very smooth. I can't recall even any turbulence, and the plane was well under the 3 hours, so I think we were even a few minutes earlier. So here's the approach to Adelaide Airport. You can see the runway there. The airport is not far from the ocean, and yeah, we're really looking forward to coming to South Australia. We always love coming here. It's one of our favourite states, and we absolutely love Adelaide. So the flight arrived well on time there in Adelaide, I'm pleased to say. So great job, Virgin. They're doing a pretty good job, I think, with their flights. And anyway, we arrived safely in Adelaide at around about 9:15, I think it was. So that was well and truly on schedule. And we had a few days in Adelaide before departing on our lovely European holiday. And if you wanted to have a look at the business class with Qatar, the Q Switch, which is the reason why we went to Adelaide, I'll put a link in the description and you can go and have a look at that review as well if you like. So there we are, safe in Adelaide, and I have to say it was lovely to be back in Adelaide, and we enjoyed a beautiful couple of days there before we had to board our flight to go overseas. And we do recommend in Australia, if you're flying domestically to a capital city to do an international flight, that you always allow yourself 1 or 2 days before your international flight to get to the city, just in case your domestic flight is delayed. Because of course, if it is delayed, then you still have to make alternate arrangements to get to the city where you're leaving from. And that could include having to either drive or you might have to catch a later flight. Okay, let's get on and rate this flight. Starting with the Perth Virgin Lounge, we're giving it 4 out of 5. I think it's an excellent lounge. We've been there a few times. They always have a great choice of food and it's kept nice and clean. So well done, Virgin, 4 out of 5. Looking at the flight, well, I can honestly say this is one of the best domestic flights I think I've ever had, and certainly the best domestic flight that I've taken for a long time. It was just glorious weather. I think we were excited about our upcoming holiday, and you know, we always love going to South Australia, so the flight was on time, and it was just, all in all, it was just really great. So 5 out of 5. On to food, and I'm glad to say there is a food service if you take domestic business class. It's only a limited choice, 2 choices to choose from for the dinner option here. But look, there's enough food there. I mean, we're not huge eaters, but they do give you like a few different things. So it's usually enough for, you know, this sort of medium haul flight. So yeah, we're giving it 4 out of 5. I thought it was a pretty good effort from Virgin. Similarly with the seats, that's the reason why we choose business class. It's not for the food or the early boarding, it's so you've got more leg room and the flight's therefore more comfortable. So there's plenty of leg room even for a very tall person. I mean, we're not that tall, we're only medium height, but you know, you'd easily have to be pretty big to not have enough room to stretch out. The seats do recline a little bit as well, so you know, a great option. So 4 out of 5, they're pretty comfortable. And turning to the staff, well, I'm a fairly big fan of the staff at Virgin Australia. Over the years, they've been consistently of a very, very good standard. Pleased to say this flight was no exception. There's been the odd occasion where I have been in business class and I've gone to use the toilet and I've been stopped. Oh, and then one of the staff members said, no, he's in business class. So I don't know why. I must have that look on my face or something. But anyway, there was nothing like that on this flight. The staff were great, and they usually are, so 5 out of 5. So to the overall score, well, I think the sum is greater than the parts in this case with this flight, because I just really, really enjoyed this flight. I think the glorious evening helped, and just the perfect flying conditions was lovely with the full moon, leaving and the excitement of the holidays. The food I really enjoyed on board, and like I said, the whole experience was actually very good. So I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5. So fantastic flight. I really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, I do like Virgin. The business class product is pretty good. And I will be flying actually again business class in a couple of weeks. I'm actually flying to Canberra, so look out for that in an upcoming episode where I'm going to take the business class again, but this time a much longer flight going to Melbourne and then up to Canberra. So yeah, something to look forward to. Alright, that wraps it up for this episode. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed it, please give us a like and subscribe. I would absolutely love that. And I hope to see you all very soon with more adventures. And take care as always. And this is G signing off from Finding G Spots. Bye for now.